Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is where we explore timeless stories guided by ancient wisdom, Zen calm, Stoic strength, and the emotional depth of real human experience. Before we dive into today's story, take a moment to support this channel. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that might just shift your perspective or help you let go of what no longer serves you. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like someone was keeping you close, but never really letting you in? They respond, they smile, they act like they care, just enough to keep you wondering. She laughed at his jokes, replied to every message, held his gaze just long enough to spark hope, but never long enough to light a fire. What happens when someone feeds your hope only to starve your soul? This is the story of Rogers and the strength to walk away. She laughed at his jokes, replied to every message, held his gaze just long enough to spark hope, but never long enough to light a fire. What happens when someone feeds your hope only to starve your soul? This is the story of Rogers and the strength to walk away. Rogers had just emerged from the quiet wreckage of a long-term relationship. Months had passed in reflection, silent walks, unread messages, and long evenings with nothing but books and breath for company. He wasn't bitter. He had come to appreciate stillness. But part of him longed for connection, genuine, effortless connection. Then came Sarah. She was all light and laughter, with a presence that seemed effortless. She replied quickly to his messages, laughed at his dry jokes, and met his gaze with a softness that disarmed him. She even complimented his thoughtfulness, his playlists, his quiet strength. For a man like Rogers, who had learned to listen more than speak, this kind of attention felt like the beginning of something rare. And yet, something was off. Something that his heart felt before his mind caught up. The mind, when not watched, confuses echoes for voices, reflections for light. Sarah was a master of the almost. She was almost interested, almost present, almost real. She'd text back but rarely initiated. She'd linger in conversation but disappear when vulnerability crept in. Rogers began noticing the pattern. His joy came in waves, but her presence came in fragments. Whenever he shared something deep, his past, his fears, his dreams, she would sidestep, make a joke, or vanish for days. And yet, she'd always return, just when he began to let go. He started reading between lines that weren't even there. His nights grew restless, his phone addictive. The warmth she offered wasn't love. It was a breadcrumb trail of emotional ambiguity. He asked a close friend over coffee, "Do you think she likes me?" The friend paused, then said, "If you have to ask, she probably doesn't." Epictetus once said, "If someone can cause you distress, it's not they who disturb you, but your opinion about them." The problem wasn't her inconsistency, it was his interpretation of it. One evening, Rogers sat beneath a Bodhi tree in a quiet park near his home. It had become a sacred place for him, a place where breath returned to rhythm and thoughts softened like clouds. As he meditated, a realization emerged. Not with rage, not with regret, but with the calm finality of truth. She is not cruel. She is unclear. But I am the one who refuses to see. He remembered an old Zen koan. A man asked the master, "How do I let go of what hurts?" The master replied, "Why are you holding it?" That night, he made a quiet vow. No more questions. No more reaching into silence. No more seeking clarity from someone who thrives in confusion. He didn't send a final message. He didn't announce his decision. He simply stopped. He didn't ghost, he released. With dignity, with grace, with peace. A week passed. Then two. Sarah finally noticed the silence. She sent a casual message. "Hey stranger, been quiet. Everything okay?" Rogers read it, smiled gently, and placed his phone face down on the table. Not out of anger, but because he no longer needed an answer. That night, he wrote in his journal, "She was a lesson, not a loss. My peace does not depend on her presence." True connection cannot be forced. Like a bird, it lands only on still hands. He who masters himself is stronger than he who conquers a city. Proverbs, echoed by Marcus Aurelius. We often mistake attention for affection, but not everyone who smiles at you is meant to stay. In a world where mixed signals are mistaken for chemistry, learn from Rogers. If someone keeps you confused more than calm, step back, observe, accept, and walk your path in peace. There is strength in restraint. There is clarity in stillness. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. If Roger's story resonated with you, if you've ever clung to confusion hoping it would turn into clarity, then maybe, like him, your peace begins with letting go. Because love doesn't live in mixed signals. Affection doesn't hide behind ambiguity. And your peace, it should never be negotiated. Have you ever had to let go of someone who never truly showed up for you? Share your story in the comments. We read everyone. Sometimes your words are the mirror someone else needs. And if you found wisdom in today's story, if it gave you even a moment of calm or clarity, please support this channel by liking this video, subscribing, and turning on the bell for weekly stories rooted in Zen, Stoicism, and real emotional truth. You never know who needs to hear this next. Until next time, stay present, stay grounded, and remember, peace isn't something you find in others. It's what you return to when you finally let go.